Today, I would like to inform you of a man who served the country not only through military service, but through great literary and artistic contribution. His works have greatly influenced and will continue to influence for years to come. This is in spite of his sometimes controversial subjects he touches upon in his written word. I first heard of Kurt Vonnegut when I was in high school English class. A classmate and I were discussing books which we were assigned to read for the year. My classmate David and I wondered why she hadn't assigned Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five. I had not heard of this novel and was immediately curious of the name. David was quite the reader himself and had read the book a while back and had not thought much of it. He thought the book was weird, and this was enough to make me want to read it myself. He often was loud about his opinion, and I often debated with him during class, so reading this book presented, in my mind, another opportunity to debate with my friend. Not long after that day, I purchased the book and fell in love with it. And I fell in love with Vonnegut's breakthrough novel. Growing up, I enjoyed reading science fiction and had already started reading Harry Potter novels. So to fall in love with a Kurt Vonnegut novel was not a far stretch for me. And being a young person who was not too swayed politically one way or another, social commentary was not too hard to swallow either. Slaughterhouse-Five included historical accounts of fire bombings in Dresden during World War II. Fiction is not sometimes far from reality. At the time of the actual bombings, Vonnegut was a prisoner of war in Germany, the German army captured during the Battle of the Bulge. But let me tell you about his life up until that point. Kurt Vonnegut Jr. was born in Indianapolis, Indiana, in November 11, 1922. He started attending Cornell University in the fall of 1940 and majored in chemistry. He enlisted in the Army a couple of years later in 1942 and was transferred to Carnegie Institute of Technology and studied mechanical engineering. His experience in the Army greatly influenced his later works. While in service, he was captured and experienced the fire bombings in Dresden in February of 1945. He was among a group of Americans to survive by hiding in a slaughterhouse meat locker. This must have been the inspiration for the breakthrough novel. He returned from war in 1945 to marry his high school sweetheart, Jane Marie Cox. He wrote his first novel, Player Piano, in 1952. It is a story that involves machines replacing human workers. Sounds like a Will Smith movie, doesn't it? Slaughterhouse-Five was not written until 1969. His works included both fiction and nonfiction. He has several collections of short stories and has even graded himself in one of his novels, Palm Sunday. In Chapter 18, Vonnegut gives himself the grade of C for one of his books, Breakfast with Champions. This work is extremely popular amongst his fans, so it's very surprising that he gives himself the average score. Not only did Vonnegut spin great tales with his pens, he also created works of art. The works that he created with his felt-tip pen led Vonnegut to be described as a graphic artist in his own right. Those drawings did start Slaughterhouse-Five with a depiction of the Serenity Prayer necklace on a character's chest. I do remember the drawing of a gravestone from a novel with the words, "Everything was beautiful and nothing hurt." That phrase stuck with me ever since I read the book the first time as a junior in high school. And here is a picture of that phrase, and that's his drawings. And when you read the book, you go through and the illustrations are in the book. Unfortunately, this author and artist died in April of 2007 as a result of brain injuries after falling in his Manhattan home. During his life, he had 3 biological children and adopted 4 more, including 3 of his sisters after she died of cancer in 1958. He divorced his 4th wife in 1979 and married again shortly after. Kurt Vonnegut was a talented man, and I hope you learned more about a man and his work.